Hi everybody, I'm back again with another video. So one thing I wanted to talk about, and as you see the name of this video, is culturally it's different. And I believe I have talked about this before, but I don't think I've went in super in depth with things on this. And I kind of had a certain experience on the Louisiana trip that kind of inspired me to make this video, and it kind of just, gave me ideas on where to go from there after the Louisiana video. So while I was on the video, one of my people who is now family to me, he is from Congo, and another girl named is from Zambia. However, I had more of these type of conversations with the boy man from the guy from Congo. So when we were in Saint Bernard, New Orleans, matter of fact, also you guys, let me tell you something before I continue. If you go to Louisiana, especially in the summertime, please bring bug spray. The gnats and mosquitoes are horrid. I mean, that's the one thing I did not like about Louisiana. They are horrid. The gnats are very, they are horrid. Please bring bug spray. Or go to a place that's not in the bayou or a salt marsh and, live there or, stay there for a little bit. Please don't go camping in the bayou or in a salt marsh. You're going to get eaten up by mosquitoes. However, by mosquitoes and gnats, and the gnats bite too. They do. But to continue, so we were in a conversation, or he was explaining we were in some under the tent or something. He was explaining how a guy came up to him and said, "Oh, I'm 40% Congolese," because like I said, the guy that I was with, who went on the trip, who was a student, is Congolese, and he was born in the Congo. I don't know how long he was there in the Congo because he's here now. I think he may have grew up in the Congo, but I know he was born there. I know he was there for a little bit. And he's 21 years old, and he was telling me how that didn't mean that the guy telling him that he was 40% Congolese, it didn't mean anything to him. It didn't. I mean, he was like, "What am I supposed to do? You're 40% Congolese, okay?" Like, it doesn't mean anything to him, or it didn't. And to me, that had bothered me because he said that he wasn't Congolese because he didn't grow up there. He didn't know the language. He didn't know the culture. And as I could understand where he was coming from, I still took offense to it because if somebody is embracing their African culture, 40% Congolese who didn't know where their family came from because of part of the slave trade, being Congo most likely being part of the slave trade, them having to come here and unwillingly and not know where they came from, being 40% Congolese, being something that they cherish and love, is something that they have the right to cherish and love, and they're still Congolese, But he was saying that, that doesn't mean anything to them. They're not Congolese. They don't have the culture. They don't have, anything like that. And he was telling basically culturally it's different, which I agree. I agree that culturally it is different. But however, when we really look into it, there was no problem. There was nothing wrong with him wanting to accept his Congolese heritage, because he is Congolese, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like a little more of, oh, great, that's good, saying that instead of saying, oh, well, that means nothing to me, is like, it's like a slap in the face. I've seen many people on other people's ancestry DNA results, and I've seen other people on my DNA ancestry results who are from Africa and grew up in the culture and stuff, comment under people's statuses and say, "Hey, brother or sister, welcome to the family." So I'm like, to him, I'm like, you saying that was very rude and disrespectful, and you have no right to speak on that. You have no right to speak on that because your people sold us into slavery. and even and that was an unwillingly we had to go through that. And there's probably a lot of history that he doesn't know, because in Africa they don't really teach about that. They don't really teach about what us African Americans have been through. They don't really talk about that. So there's a bit of a loss of knowledge. There's a bit of uneducate. There's a bit of uneducation. I'm trying to word this right because it's hard to put it in sentences. There's a bit of miseducation in him. He doesn't really know. And I wasn't mad at him, but I was bothered because when you culturally, yes, it is different, but don't make it like Don't make it like it's something that annoys you because he was accepting and proud of his out Congolese heritage. You know, don't make it like it's aggravating or annoying because he told you that, because he's embracing part of him, whether it's culturally different or not, whether he grew up in the U.S., which is a whole different environment and different culture because it's Western culture than African culture, because, you know, it's African culture. You can't, yeah, culturally it's different, but for you to just exclude him is wrong. It's so wrong, because the history behind all of that, my goodness, I could fry him on a platter. But it's just bothersome because why would you say something like that? Very controversial topic, very controversial. And I'm not going to say I went off on him, but I did I held my ground between him and some other African-American girl, and I held my ground between those two. I held my ground between another girl who was Latin American, and I held my ground, but I stick by what I said. Now I get that there's miseducation in that, and there is a lot of stigma, but like I said, they don't learn about that in Africa. I know for sure they don't. I know they don't talk about it. I know they don't. Maybe they may skim through it, but they don't really go in depth with it. They don't go in depth with that mess. Well, they do go in depth with that mess here, but at least more than what Africa would go through. You know, just the same with Jamaicans. Like I was talking about how Jamaicans are Africans, even though not all of Jamaicans are Africans. Now, I've never said Jamaicans aren't Africans. I've always said Jamaicans are not just Africans. So there are Jamaicans in Jamaica who are African, like pretty much from Africa, and then there are some that are mixed. And a lot of people in Jamaica are mixed. But Jamaicans are African. Now, culturally, yes, it's different, but they're still African. And anytime I've debated with him about this, he's pretty much said I was right. He always says, yes, they're African, but culturally it's different. And that's true. Culturally, Jamaican culture compared to African culture is different. There are some similarities, of course, but it's different. And I completely agree. But they're still African. Just like, I'm from Madagascar, right? Or that's where majority of my stuff comes from, bloodline. He was saying, oh, Madagascar people aren't African. Yes, we are. It's just an island off of Africa. And the only difference, as I was explaining to this Congolese boy, was we are just mixed with Southeast Asian ancestry. That's the only difference. So there was a big back and forth. And it wasn't like we were arguing with each other. We were having a conversation. There's a difference between having a conversation, an intellectual conversation, and arguing back with one another. So we were having an intellectual conversation. So I don't want y'all to think that I dislike him. I don't want y'all to think that we were enemies on the trip. I don't want y'all to think that we were just fussing. We weren't. We were having an intellectual conversation, and I respect him so much even more for that, because it never turned into that. So culturally, yes, it's different. It is. Just like with Europeans here in America, people who maybe are British ancestry in America, when they go to Britain, it's different for them. They don't know that culture. they left that a long time ago. So it is culturally a difference, but you're still British. You know, they are still British. So that is just some things that it was new to me to confront that, because even though I knew how to explain myself, and as the same with me explaining myself, as they explained their self, it became more apparent to me on the new knowledge I was taking in and kind of how I can understand where they were coming from. But yeah, so culturally it's different, and that is the truth. But that doesn't stop you from being you and who you are and what your bloodline is. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.